is one or a third of a series of sessions in London House. We'll be focusing on the TNT industry today. The running order, which I have on my crib sheet here, is obviously introductions. Then it's my pleasure to introduce Tim, who will be talking about digital services from the BBC within the 2012 scenario. Paul, who will be talking about the UK advertising agencies, new technologies, and London 2012. And then Andrew, who will be talking about Tech City. Hopefully you all have some agendas with you in the running order there. We'll then be moving on to a Q&A session, and then a panel discussion with another Q&A after that. And at the end of this, we have a networking session, so I do strongly encourage you to attend that. It will be very interesting to share thoughts and ideas with people in the industry around local games and the TNT industry in general. So, without much ado, let me introduce Tim to you, Tim Plumbing, who is the Project Executive, Digital Live Sites and Super High Vision at the BBC. Welcome, Tim.
Great to be here this morning. What I'll do is going to take you through where the BBC have been in terms of our planning of digital services, and we're now 6 days into delivery, to give you a sense of how it's going down with audiences as well. BBC, shortly after London won the bid, BBC realised that 2012 was going to be an extraordinary opportunity. The BBC would switch off all of its analog services in 2012. We'd be in an entirely digital environment. We'd seen the advent or the coming of tablet devices, of connected television, of the majority of the UK being connected to fairly fast broadband services. So we realised that 2012 was going to be a unique opportunity for the organisation. The chart that you see on the screen underlines really, I guess, the central point of the BBC was the commitment to bring every single minute of Olympic action to audiences. If you go back even as far as Sydney in 2000, we were supplied by the host broadcaster of the games. Many of you know that there was a central host broadcast operation for the games, Olympic Broadcasting Services. They supply pictures to the world, and about 80% of what you see through the BBC comes from Olympic Broadcasting Services. They supply something in the region of about 3,000 hours of content over the 16 days of games period to the BBC. In Sydney, we could connect audiences to only about 300 hours of that using our traditional TV and radio services. So although our licence fee payers were paying to be able to see everything, actually all we could really bring was the key events and the blue ribbon events. And if you were a badminton fan or an equestrian fan, there was actually no way, unless you could get tickets to a venue, there was no way of seeing anything. Now, as services increased and we added red button services and we added online streaming services, we were able to get to the point in Beijing where we could bring audiences about half of what the host operation was providing the BBC. Now that was great if you just wanted to watch the major Team GB medal moments. If you wanted to follow the taekwondo all the way through, or you wanted to follow equestrian or fencing all the way through, there was no way of seeing that even in Beijing without getting a pass to the BBC and getting a tape out of the library and actually and putting it in and watching yourself. That was the only way that we could connect audiences to that content. So our commitment in 2012 was to bring every single minute of Olympic action to audiences. And what we've been developing over the last 5 years really are the services that will deliver that across all of our, what we call our four platform strategy. So that is online at the heart of our offer, smartphones, tablets and connected TV. And this is what at the moment an enormous team of people at several of our UK locations are delivering audiences. And I say right at the heart of the offer is this commitment to deliver every single minute of Olympic action. And we happen to be together today on the start of Super Saturday. We expect to be giving people access to up to 24 channels in HD, and people can sit at home. My nephews will be sitting at home today and able to go in HD to any of 24 events happening at any one time. And that is the first time in the history of the modern games, the first time a broadcaster has allowed anyone to be able to access services say the heart of the offer is our online service. This is where we pull together all of the live video with a new video service that allows people to instantly rewind services and also adds chapterization. So if you want to go to particular diving moments in the diving competition, then those are chaptered on the video bar. We're also adding in, for the first time, we're adding in the kind of data that we've only ever allowed our commentary teams to see before. So when I worked on my first Olympics in Beijing, you realise that all the commentators had a fantastic tablet device that was called the Commentator Information Service, and that gave them a huge amount of stats that helped them understand what was actually going on, and particularly if they weren't an expert in that sport. For the first time ever, we are putting all of that data alongside our video data to allow people to bring up the kind of stats that gives them added value to what they're watching. So online is the heart of the action, and as you can see on the screen, what we'll be offering today is up to 24 events live in HD with instant rewind, chapterization, and all of the data that goes through to broadcasters at whatever level. So that video offer is at the heart of our offer, and you'll see in a moment.